Welcome back to 2023 in the year of mean. Today I'm going to be talking about hitting a very important milestone in my weight loss journey, or at least it might be. It's kind of controversial. Hi, today is January 22nd, and in case you didn't know, my name is Lisa. This is a vlog series that I do to kind of track my weight loss, my healthy eating habits, trying new snacks, and also occasionally clothing hauls, which, I find to be the most fun. And you guys seem to enjoy them because people are watching them. So as you can see from the title of this video, I am no longer super morbidly obese. Yay, celebration. So I worked really hard to get to this point. I started, I think, around like a BMI of 55.5, and now I'm finally under 50, which is the threshold for being super morbidly obese. So yes, super morbidly obese is having a BMI of 50 or greater. And this sounds like obviously some good news, so what exactly is the controversy surrounding it? So as you may or may not know, BMI is not really the most reliable way of tracking health and weight. It definitely has its place in my opinion, but it's not really suitable for people who would consider themselves a average healthy weight and just have a little bit more muscle mass, or they have like a little bit more distributed fat in different areas, so are like larger frame people. And for example, I always think of one of my coworkers, and she and I are like the same height, and I would not consider her overweight at all. And she just happens to have some curves that just make her look a little bit womanly. But her doctor keeps telling her to lose weight and saying that she's overweight, and she's like, I'm not overweight. Like, she has a flat stomach. And so, if you have a flat stomach, and even if you don't have a flat stomach, even if you have like a little bit of a roll, sometimes that can be natural in some women. But one thing I have noticed about her is that she definitely has like a larger frame than someone like me. Like if you look at her hands, like her hands are like much bigger than my hands. Her feet are much bigger than my feet. She's just a little bit more broad-shouldered. And so I think that kind of messes with the averages. So it's not really good for people, in my opinion, who are on the lower end of the weight side. But BMI, as I said, does have its place. And it's also not good, just to add, for people who like are bodybuilders and might say that they're super morbidly obese, but really they just have like 100 pounds of muscle on them. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. And as someone who was over a 50 BMI, I can definitely tell you by lowering that number, I definitely feel much better in my body. Just physically overall. There's a little bit less pain, and I'm hoping as I lower it even more and lose more weight, that pain will continue to go away. But yes, BMI is not perfect. I don't think it can pinpoint an exact healthy weight, even though it does give a range. I don't think that range always applies, but it is good for tracking overall trends, which is very useful. So you can see how it's used by someone like me who was over 50 BMI and now I'm under it. I am, tracking that weight trend. And it's way more useful than tracking, say, just like pounds, because, somebody who's 5 feet tall and 110 pounds is going to be very different than somebody who's 6 feet tall and 110 pounds. And I've actually seen people on the internet say crap like this. Like there was some guy who was like, oh, women should be 110 pounds. If you're over 110 pounds, you're overweight. And I'm like, well, if you're 6 feet tall, you're significantly underweight if you're 110 pounds. Whereas if you're 5 feet tall, 110 pounds might be suitable for you. But also it might not be, because we have to take frame into account as well. And this would also apply to people who are like, say, 160 pounds. A 5-foot woman who is 160 pounds might be a little bit overweight, whereas a 6-foot tall woman who's 160 pounds, it's going to be like right in that healthy range of weight. So that's why, BMI can be useful, because you're not relying on the arbitrary number of pounds. You can actually see where do these pounds fit into the trend, or like what kind of categorization they can be applied to. So yes, tracking BMI in conjunction with pounds can be very useful, but as I said, it's not the best method of tracking your overall health. And what exactly would that method be? In my personal opinion, and in the opinion of my friend Alex, it's actually tracking your body fat. And this is your body fat percentage. And I think this is actually the best method and most important method for women, for women tracking their weight. And this is because, and even though I know a lot of women don't want to have children, a lot of them do. And if you want to healthily conceive a child, a woman who's like, say, my age would have to be between 25 and 28% for the best chance of conception. And the internet will tell you like 22 to 25, but there is a lot of research to suggest the higher end of that, 25% exactly, is like the best place to conceive. So obviously, if you have the best chance of like conceiving a child, which I know is controversial, is at 25% body fat, then that must be the range around there, maybe give or take 5% of where women should be at for health, because how do we continue the species? It's reproduction. And what's helping reproduction the most is to have this much body fat. And I know that was like a really weird way of explaining it, and I hope you understand what I'm getting at. I'm not saying everyone should, have babies or everyone should be this body fat. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that is likely what it's going to be, and that body fat is more important for determining what you should, weigh than actual pounds. So say my friend, she weighed more and that put her up on the BMI scale, but her body fat was 25%. I think she'd be perfectly healthy. So my overall goal really isn't to get to a certain weight with pounds or to a certain BMI range, but to get to 25% body fat. So right now I can estimate that to be around 135 to 140 pounds, or a BMI of like 24 to 25. But that might not be the case. I might be a little bit higher or a little bit lower. It just depends on my body and my body averages. And the BMI scale is just based on averages. It doesn't specifically apply to every person, despite how doctors might use it. And I have seen people, especially on TikTok, which is really annoying me right now. I don't really use it. I don't have the app on my phone, but I will scroll through it sometimes on my computer just to see what people are saying out there, who will say that body fat doesn't matter and that you can have a BMI or a body fat of 50% or a BMI of 50 and you can be perfectly healthy. I don't agree with that. From my own anecdotal experience, I don't agree with that. And they will often pull up research studies that say differently, and I'm like, I really think you're misinterpreting this research study. So yeah, I think a lot of my health problems can be solved if I get to that body fat percentage. I'm working really hard to get to it. And even though that's going to be a little bit harder to track than say just focusing on BMI, I am still happy that I got under 50 BMI. I can point to real numbers that shows a weight categorization change. And so yeah, I can now say I'm no longer super morbidly obese, and my hope for 2023 is to no longer be morbidly obese by the time that I get to the end of 2023. I just want to be regular obese going into 2024. And then hopefully at the end of 2024, I get to a normal, healthy, average weight. But that one's going to be a little bit harder. I'm going to have to work really hard. I'm definitely going to have to lose a lot of weight, but it can be done. And I am continuing to lose weight. I've lost more than 40 pounds now, not quite yet to 45 pounds, but I will keep you updated when that happens. I'm losing very slowly, but slow and steady wins the race, right? And all I ask is that you offer your support on my weight loss journey. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you want to track that journey. Anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you later.